Whether in their career or social networks, such actions may fall under the title of brown nosing, ass kissing, and my all time favorite, dick riding. Nonetheless, these actions are all equally unfavorable. Let's discuss in this week's The Clout Route. What is clout chasing? Well, the phrase is pretty much a negative, and generally defined as an act of someone inauthentically attaching themselves to people or things for their own self-interest in the hopes of gaining increased popularity. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Hi, this is Marshmallows and Machetes, guiding you through your Babylonia dystopia, also known as this reality. Hi, I'm your host, Ida Divine. Yeah, that was elaborate. For me, this story begins on a little island called Staten, somewhere in the Atlantic Harbor. The people on this island in the early 90s were isolated from the rest of New York City and literally floating on an island of garbage. Hip-hop had already had its giants from Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, and of course the Bronx, so Staten needed its own identity. Do yourself a favor and watch both seasons of American Wu-Tang Saga. The Wu-Tang American Saga. Anyway, plug. On this island is where I learned how to be affiliated with the rappers, and even more so how to be equipped with the knowledge of how to use your talent when given the opportunity to connect with celebrities. It's important. Here's a question. Is clout chasing necessary to achieve your desired results? Let's look at this. In 2001, Sean Combs was acquitted on gun and bribery charges after a shooting in New York. After the trial, while vacationing in St. Tropez, he was photographed with a dapper-dressed man holding a $700 white umbrella over his head. Everybody wanted to know, who was this well-dressed manservant? After college, Derek Watkins began working at the Ralph Lauren store in Lenox Square Mall in Atlanta. He eventually got transferred to New York and began working out the Ralph Lauren store, flagship store on Madison Avenue. It was in New York that Watkins would meet Diddy at the store and land the job of his dreams, the assistant and valet we eventually know as Mr. Farnsworth Bentley. Was he clout chasing or positioning himself for greatness? So what are you bringing to the table? Most relationships are typically characterized by the exchange of value, what we can do for each other, right? Before diving into any relationship or partnership, we need to be brutally honest with ourselves on what we possess that someone might find valuable. Typically, the person or thing we are chasing doesn't necessarily need our money. It's usually time, skill, or a network that we have. The truth is that I found it's never a good idea to inflate yourself and your personality and then present it to someone who doesn't really need it, or needs you as much as you need them. Personally, I love to vibe with people I can work in teams with who have all overlapping talents. And this way we can approach a problem with everyone's different perspective, and I think that's the best way. I think you should try that too. What's your goal? You a clout chaser? Speaking as a musician and a woman, when we're just starting out, it's usually important to pay our dues and establish relationships with people or platforms that can benefit your long-term goals, even if that makes you look like a clout chaser. To others, you're not, right? Unfortunately, there are still gatekeepers at the entrance of your destination. Might be a person, a thing, or even a culture itself. Being culturally relevant carries weight and is often something that should play a big part in your strategy if you're trying to get your work seen or heard. But I have to ask you, if you're asked to do something that is not true to you, are you going to be honest with yourself and ask, do I really need to do this? Or will you allow the rapper at the VIP section to pour some unknown liquid into your mouth, the mouth your mother made you? I'm just asking for your mom, you know. Interestingly, there are some celebrities who found jobs for their cloutees. It's true. A 2007 highlighted favorite discoveries from the then book Unusually Stupid Celebrities. According to the book, when a member of rapper Ludacris's entourage was asked what his job was, he said, "I do the Game Boy batteries." Yeah, he said that. That happened. It was also reported that singer Rod Stewart employed a special room darkening team to deploy before he goes to the hotels and to seal up all the cracks of the light, any chance of light getting into the room. The Prince of Wales, Harry's daddy, has never undressed himself or picked up any clothes after undressing because there's valets to do that. According to a book by former staffer, one duty of the valets is to iron his shoelaces whenever they are removed. Would you do that? I think I might do that. Appearing on British Good Morning America, Mariah Carey had two people lower her onto the GMTV couch in case her dress got crushed. Little story. I had an ex who worked in TV and film, and he was working with Spike Lee at the time, and also lots of Brooklyn-based actors and actresses. One night he introduced me to this actress he knew I loved. She was on Netflix, 12 Years a Slave, and Django, and she was mad cool, and we had some drinks. After meeting her, my ex suggested I friend her on Facebook. He said, "You need to try to be her friend." Immediately, it didn't feel right, knowing, myself. I don't like to follow up like that with people after meeting them. But I DM'd her and said, "We met the other night, my ex, blah, blah, blah. Good speaking to you. If you're free, let's link. I'm in the city," or something to that effect. Needless to say, she ended up blocking me, which made my stomach hurt a little bit. But it was also funny because I feel like I came across inauthentic, and I think she felt that. Having goals allows us to strive for hopes and wellness in our future. If your agenda for every new relationship lacks honesty and seeks to further inflate your ego and only seeks to be in presence of truly successful people, you may want to evaluate your value, your skills and networks, and fall in line with your true self. Then I believe that makes you a goal chaser, not a clout chaser. See you next week on Marshmallows and Machetes.